penalized you for causing accidents on a building construction site. So if it's not a site, and for one reason or another, I am driving along the road and knocked down your house, caused an accident that killed people or not, that was not part of the law. Now this is different. It takes care of all circumstances. Increment. The next is the increment for various offenses. And I want us to pay attention to this because it may catch up with so many of us. Previously, for constructing without a building permit, you paid 50 currency points, which was 1 million, or 2 years imprisonment. Today, it is 2 currency points per square meter. An average residential building might be about 100 square meters. So if you constructed 100 square meters of building without permission, 100 square meters times 2 currency points, which is 40,000, would take you at 4 million shillings. And remember, one of the other amendments is that this is now going to be issued as express penalty. So let's be clear on that. 2, there is also building after expiry of the permit. I said we have introduced procedures for extension of this permit. So if you are building without, then you will also pay 2 currency points per square meter. The next is using prohibited methods. This has been increased from 48 currency points or 2 years imprisonment or both to 5 currency points per square meter. So if you're using a method, for example, what the minister prohibited, that is steel, timber, concrete, composite. If you're using that method, for every square meter you have built with that method, you shall be liable to 100,000 shillings per square meter. And many Ugandans that have used that method are building high-rise buildings. So you can figure out how many square meters we are talking about. And then finally, the liability for causing accidents has also been increased from 288 currency points to 500 currency points. So those are the provisions of the law. Those are the major amendments that are in the law. So what are the next steps? Most of these requirements need to be operationalized through regulations, and the next steps shall be development of those regulations. We'll have regulations for approval of the unconventional building methods, technologies and materials, express penalties. We'll also have regulations for complaints resolution. We'll have regulations for demolitions. Regulations that guide the building committee on how and when they order a demolition. So finally, what are we saying? We are telling Ugandans that these reforms are intended to promote safety, safer and accountability, order and accountability in Uganda's building sector. All developers, contractors, professionals, and the general public are urged to comply with the law and adhere to the approved building standards and procedures. And for further information, don't hesitate to reach us on our known platforms. You can reach us on email. You can also reach us on our toll-free number. Our email address is info@nbrb.go.ug, and our toll-free line is 0800-220-746. Or you can also seek the same information from the respective local authorities, respective building committees. For God and my country. Thank you. stage. You take the stage. This is what you
Thank you so much, the Executive Secretary of the National Building Review Board, Engineer Flavia Guto-Bwire, for that press statement. I hope we now have clarity on some of the things that have been said in the media about the amendments. We are going to entertain a few questions. If the members of the Fourth Estate have questions, this is your time. But the questions should be related to the subject of discussion, and that is exactly the law.
NBS happening now.
Imagine the work involved in sorting these applications, conducting aptitude tests and oral interviews. But the Commission managed to complete this process successfully, and most of the successful candidates have since been deployed by the Ministry of Education and Sports. Allow me to share with you, we have shared with you a copy of the report. Currently, the Commission is conducting recruitment exercise for 43 schools under the same program, and the process is proceeding well. Last week, as part of our annual performance review, we successfully launched our strategic documents, which included Strategic Plan 2025-2030, Client Charter, Service and Service Delivery Standards. In the same spirit, allow me to share we have also shared those documents with you. I thank you for actively participating in the launch and representing the committee on that event. Honorable Chairperson, the Commission has also developed a proposal of having all teachers in the country documented under what we have called National Teacher Asset Mapping. This proposal has been shared with National Planning Authority to seek their concurrence and support. I'm pleased to inform you that the National Council for National Planning Authority has positively welcomed the idea and supported the initiative. And this proposal is expected to yield the following benefits: reduce teacher subject mismatches, save cost in teacher recruitment, enhance teacher morale and engagement, and fasten crisis response for emergency redeployment. The Commission will seek an engagement with this committee to discuss the proposal further. The Commission is in the process of conducting a tracer study on seed schools from 2010 to 2025, and this will go a long way in enhancing policy review for seed schools in the country. The Commission will share the results with the committee after completion of the research. I now request the Deputy Chairperson to make our presentation and take this opportunity to introduce Honorable Jacobs Opolot as our new Deputy Chairperson of the Commission and congratulate him for the appointment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Last time he introduced himself, the day he represented you, I think that was the first time after he had been appointed. So we receive him with the two hands.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Chairperson, Education Service Commission, and through you, I thank the Chairperson and members of the Committee of Education and Sports of Parliament. I take the honor to make this presentation, and I want to request that we skip the background.
That is what, which document? This big one?
Yes, yes. We started page 1, we skip the background, and we move to the preliminary budget performance and budget execution challenges for the financial year 2024-2025 and the half-year financial year 2025-2026. And we start with the physical performance of financial year 2020-2024-2025. We will see from that table, we have several outputs: appointment, confirmation, verification, designation, regularization, retirement, study leave, disciplinary, and the support supervision. And you will see from the column on set targets what we set out to do. And then the next column, which is subdivided into 3, we have the actual performance, where we disaggregate between male, female, and then the totals. And then the last column gives us the performance in percentage. And you will note that under appointments, under verification, under the designation, and the rest, we exceeded the targets as per our performance. I'm doing this in the interest of time, and I want to go to the comments on that table, which is page 2. The first comment is that the Commission appointed 2,682 personnel during the financial year under review. This included 1,682 male and 1,000 female, against a target of 2,000 personnel to be appointed. This transformed into a 134% performance for the appointment during the financial year 2024-2025. The next comment that the Commission confirmed 1,983 personnel into service against the target of 3,000 personnel. These included 1,400 male and 583 female, respectively. The confirmation target was not achieved because the Commission had to embark on appointment of personnel under UGIFT schools during the second quarter of the financial year. And this was concluded in the first quarter of the financial year 2025-2026. All other outputs of verification, regularization, redesignation, retirement, study leave, and disciplinary cases were achieved above targets, as the table shows. All this was in response to submission from the Ministry of Education and Sports, KCCA, and other MDS. The Commission also supported 4 district service commissions of Arua, Bulambuli, Masindi, and Chenjojo, and this depended on their requests. But this was against a target of 60. Only 4 that requested for support were supported. And when we move to page 3, Honorable Chair and members, you will see the graphical representation of what is stated in table 1, and I will request that you look at that in detail later. We move to page 4. We have a summary of financial performance for financial year 2024-2025. In the first column, we have the category or the area, and then the page, column 2 item. We have recurrent budget, where we have wage. The approved wage in billions was 2.893, and non-wage 7.43. The released wage was 2.893, representing 100% release, and the non-wage was 7.436.
So, our dear visitor, just a moment, Mr. Chairman, representing the chair. Now, the fasting ended last week, so I would call upon members to go and have a working meeting. We are not fasting either. Yeah. Continue.
So,
Go ahead.
okay, thank you, Chair, for that generosity. And we spent under the current on wage, we spent 2.367, leaving a variance of 5.25, 0.525, and then on unwage we spent 7.313, and we have a variance of 0.123. Under development, the approved amount was 2.193, and what was released was the same amount, and we spent the whole amount. And this is from our approved budget documents. Now, the commission's approved budget was 12.520, and the released was still the same amount. This shows that the commission received 100% budget release. The commission, however, spent 11.873 billion of the released amount, and the 0.648 was not spent due to availability of a vacant post at the commission. The position of the deputy chairperson of the commission remained vacant after the expiry of the office holder's term for the rest of the financial year, but the commission declared this vacancy to the appointing authority. Again, page 5, you see a graphical representation of what what is in the table on page 4. Chair and members, we look at half-year performance for financial year 2025-2026, and the first Roman number is on physical half-year performance. Again, we have column 1 on outputs, where we have the appointment, confirmation, verification, the designation, regularization, and the rest. And I will invite you to look at it. If I could give a moment of silence for us, look at it for 30 seconds. So you find that we have the set targets: appointment 1,500, confirmation 1,500, verification 500, redesignation. But now when you come to the actual performance, we have again disaggregated between male and female, and the totals are there. And when we go to the performance in percentage terms, you find that in most of the outputs we exceeded the targets. And the comments on the above table indicate that the commission concluded appointment of personnel in the 91 seed schools during the first quarter of this financial year, and submitted the minutes of appointment to the Ministry of Education and Sports. So all the 91 schools had their staff recruited. Now, the summary of the financial performance as at half year 2025-2026 is on page 7. You can see again recurrent budget, development budget, and we had an approved wage amount of 3.153.
So you have 3 minutes, but because you are from home, I've added you more 3 minutes. So can 6 be enough for you?
Thank you very much. I know when you say 6, it can be slightly more.
Yeah,
but I will try to live within the 6, and I thank you for that consideration. So we had an approved budget of 3.153 for wage. We received 1.576, and they have spent 1.562. The variation is 0.014. The non-wage budget approved is 14.044, and we received 10.306, have spent 7.008, and we have a variance of 3.298. Development budget, we received 1.58, and we've spent 0.528, and that's the released. Sorry, released. As of half year, we hadn't spent anything, and we still had a 0.5228. So below there are the totals in terms of budget, release, and expenditure, as well as the variation. The Commission received a supplementary budget of 6.29 billion to cater for recruitment in the newly grant-aided seed schools. The recruitment exercise of 10 schools has commenced, although now it is 43 schools, but these are the 10 are the ones that were advertised within the first half of the financial year, where the shortlisting is being concluded, and very soon people will be doing competence tests and aptitude, and then the oral interviews. The unspent development budget was due to a procurement process being undertaken by the Commission, which procurement process has been concluded. The budget execution challenges included the Commission's office space, which is limited and therefore affects our operations. The Chairman, you need to visit us and you'll appreciate the space we have. Then the Commission lacks storage facilities. When you advertise, you normally generate a lot of applications, and these come in trucks, and we have nowhere to keep them on top of the other things that we already have to store. And then we lack benchmarking opportunities in order to get best practices. How we wish we could be facilitated to do that. The detailed performance of the existing projects under your jurisdiction, our jurisdiction, as follows. The Commission has a project called Institutional Development of EAC, which supports the operation of the Commission in terms of acquiring of assets. We have the financial performance, which is the approved budget of 1.584. The release, the 0.522 in billions, and we have not yet spent on that. The development fund has not been used due to procurement processes which are ongoing. Some of them have been concluded. We wish to demonstrate interventions and how we propose the budget for FY 2026-2027 is aligned to the NDP4 and the PIAPS sector investment plans and the approved national budget framework paper for the financial 2026-2027 and the 2030-31. The Commission's proposed budget is aligned to the NDP4, the PIAP's output, sector investment plans, and the national budget framework papers as indicated below. And the Commission contributes to the NDP4 in terms of NDP4 program, human capital development, NDP4 objectives, A, to improve the foundation of human capital development, B, strengthen the policy, legal, institutional, and framework And NDP for interventions, we have A, equip and support all lagging primary and secondary schools and higher education institutions to meet the basic requirements and minimum standards. Then B, support education service delivery and quality through legal, policy and regulatory reforms. The PIAP's outputs include number of teachers, science and arts recruited, number of Kiswahili teachers recruited, number of staff recruited in health training institutions, number of TVET trainers recruited. Then the major activities, outputs and interventions. This Commission plans activities and outputs for financial year 2026-2027 as in table on page.
So, Honorable Polot,
page 9.
That table is loud and clear. Page 9.
Yeah.
Then we can move to
and the financial implications for the Commission's activities also indicated in the first table on page 10. And the detailed explanation of the off-budget support. Let me briefly touch on the unfunded or underfunded areas for the financial year 2026-2027. And you'll see that...
why don't we look at the multi-year? That multi-year expenditure, we need some clarification.
Sorry?
Multi-year. Because you are providing detailed explanation of budget and you said you don't have enough budget, but I was interested in that next one. Your document is on page 10.
We are down. Just a moment. Did we capture it? Just a moment, Chairman.
Just go to page 10, you see it from that bigger document.
Oh. So, and for the multi-year is not captured in this presentation. Let me ask Edmond to...
So I can lend you mine, Mr. Chairman, sir, now.
And
I have two copies, so it is here that I wanted him to...
So, Mr. Chairman, we don't have the multi-year, but we have the key unfunded or underfunded areas.
Okay.
And that's what we wanted to present to you. And we have basically two areas. One is construction of our office space. We already mentioned our challenge, where the whole construction is about 34.4 billion, but from our discussions with the NEC, they suggest if we could get 7 billion for them, they would do to start the projects. They would do the work, then we would keep paying annually. So we pray that you help us secure the 7 billion to kickstart the process so that we can have a decent home and enough space to do the work. The other area is on research, where we plead for 0.4 billion to undertake evidence-based research in education service and its impact in education sector in order to inform policy decisions and the advocacy function of the Commission. When you go to page 11, Chair, you look at the cross-cutting issues on gender, equity and environment, and HIV/AIDS, and I would do. I don't know whether it's okay if we left you to read through that.
Yeah, 11 is okay. We go through.
And if that is okay, I would beg that I hand back to Chairman to conclude the presentation. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Honorable Chair and members, these are now our prayers. We respectfully request this honorable committee to approve Uganda shillings 7.0 billion for the first phase of the construction of his block, and provide 0.4 billion to support the commission, complete the research of our tracer study research, and support additional funding for recruitment and promotion to address staffing gaps and enhance career progression for the education officers. Honorable Chairperson and members of the Commission, our commission remains committed to strengthening service delivery and supporting Uganda's human resource capital development through competent, well-managed education workforce. We thank you for your support, and I thank you, Chairperson.
Okay, thank you very much, Education Service Commission. Honorable members, I think I've listened attentively. Now it's time for you to react. But maybe before I forget, Mr. Chairman, sir, the members would like to know what is the distinction between competence-based and aptitude. As you will be, no, you cannot. You wanted to do it quickly, fine, competence, because I've heard of competence test, then I've heard of aptitude.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, honorable members. Competence test is to assess whether the person has what it takes to undertake that duty assigned to them. Are they competent to do it? Whereas aptitude is to see if you are intelligent. You know, this is, in fact, aptitude test is a disqualifying test, meaning we have tens and tens of thousands of applicants who want to get the sharpest to undertake the interview process.
So meaning when I go for a competence one, that one means I'm assured of being taken?
No. Yeah. When you go for a competence test, the scores you get will contribute to the scores of the interview.
So I'm subjected to both?
Yeah, you are subjected to both.
Okay. Fine.
Thank you.
Then the other one is elimination. Is it between one is the head and his IQ?
Yeah.
Fine. Yes, honorable members. And then from elsewhere in the world, we begin from our checklist.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I want to thank the team from Education Service Commission, but also, Chair, to add my voice and congratulate my former chair and for representing the Commission now. Mr. Chairman, I want to start with the Reverend, because when you start with God, then you end well. I just want a clarification on page 2 of what you read in the preamble. On the preamble, Chair, you had A, B, C, D, and I'm on D, but D goes on page 2, where you are saying that I'm pleased to inform you that NPA has positively welcomed and supported the initiatives. Reverend, are you there? I want to know the meaning of support. Are you financially supported or you are just morally supported? Because, Mr. Chairman, when you see the idea, I think to me it is the best idea, that before you recruit, you should know how much resources you have vis-a-vis the manpower you have. That actually, you remember the time when you used to come here and report ghosts, and now I'm seeing ghosts running away. Because now you are a reverend, the ghosts are running away. And I wish they could run away forever, because before you recruit, you should know how many are you going to replace. So I want to know how the NDPA is supporting you in this endeavor. Then, Chair, to my former chair, I got page 12 of your presentation. Chair, when you look at their players, number A, the 7.0 billion to cater for initial construction of the office block. I think, Chair, here we need to look at the principle of equity, because we know where your plot is.
So, Honorable, just a moment. Mr. Hajikaya, can you just create space for another honorable member of the commission such that he can be on the front desk? Okay, that's just internal arrangement. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I was saying that we need to support this agency to have a home. You know, the neighbors are here. Actually, when you go to your neighbor's building and you go on the 5th floor, then you see some women planting beans in your plot, doing what? I think, Chair, it is not fair. We need to support the commission to have a decent home. And Mr. Chairman, because we don't have time even to read what they bring, but when you look at their mandate, the function of the commission, among others, I just picked from the Grant Charter. Now, one of the functions of this commission is to establish and maintain a record of all officers in the education service. But if they don't have space, how do they keep the record of this?
Yeah, on the space, the commission, I remember one time we made an impromptu visit and we were given a lot of assurance. We saw a lot of wood, some stores, and you have gone mute. What is the problem? It's actually about 3 years down the road. Actually, we were very excited. There was a lot of... What went wrong? What short-circuited that? We are more than willing to help you, but actually, even the fence is now getting peeled off, those mavatis. That is our road where we pass daily. So, you must engage Gear 1.
So I think, Chair, we need to help the commission to have a decent home so they can perform their functions. Chair, on the same page, they are talking about undertaking research. You know, Chair, few people read. When they talk about research, they think now they are researching about what? Again, Chair, you go on their functions. And my former chair, I wish you could quote research and then you quote your functions, because it is in your functions that you must carry out research on a number of things their functions are very clear. So, Chair, what they are asking for here is just to perform their functions, as simple as that. And you see, Mr. Chairman, I sit on the accountability committee. I see mischarges, I see embezzlement, I see whatever, but we don't see mischarges in these agencies. What they want from us is to support them and they perform their functions. So I think, Chair, without so many questions, as a committee in charge of these agencies, we need to support them and then they perform their functions. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Is that all? Yes, Honorable Dr. Alanyo. Anything down the page?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, I want to add my voice to appreciate the presentation from the Chairman, Education Service Commission, and congratulate our own for achieving that office. Congratulations, sir.
No, she's not in uniform, so she's speaking as a civilian now.
The People's Army. Honorable Chair, I want to share this information with the team from Education Service Commission. If it is already captured, just in response, mention the page. For our colleagues probably will be coming later, just for easy reading, because these are presentations teased out from the NBS, which you got a copy earlier. This is about, number one is about budget allocation structure. The Commission was allocated an additional 4.64 billion under the wage component and 11.41 billion under the non-wage component to cater for the shortfalls in operations and the utilization of draft estimate for 2026-2027. Kindly avail this committee with the breakdown of the financial year 2026-2027 allocation, showing the wage, non-wage budgets and comparison financial year 2024-2025, 2025-2026, and half-year performance. In addition, we request you also to avail the committee with the details in regard to allocation of the additional funding relating to both the unfunded and underfunded priorities at the time of National Budget Framework paper. Chair, in number 2, this is about teacher recruitment targets. The ministerial policy statement indicates a target of 3,000 teachers, that is both science and arts, for financial year 2026-2027. The committee requires breakdown by subject area, district and school type, that is primary, secondary and UGIFT, if any. We also need to know the status of recruitment for UGIFT Phase 2, that is the 7,565 teachers and 525 support staffs deployed. The wage challenges requiring 13.28 billion supplementary. Lastly, the timeliness for advertisement, shortlisting, interviews and deployment in the financial year 2026-2027. Number 3, supplementary funding. The ministerial policy statement indicates that Education Service Commission received 1.3 billion supplementary in financial year 2024-2025 and Uganda shilling 6.29 billion for UGIFT teachers recruitment. Can you avail the committee the account of how these funds will be utilized and the output so far achieved? Thank you, Chair.
You have handled 1, 2,
3.
and 3. Yes, Honorable John Tamuhira.
Hello. Chair, thank you very much. I'm sorry I came in late. I have a problem with my food. Before they respond on the issue of recruitment of targets, I just wanted maybe for information to know how they have handled the issue of the grade 5 teachers who are in service and who have acquired higher qualifications but have not been elevated to the graduate teacher position. I will come in later when I settle down. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, that has been the other long-term people who upgraded and they have retired. There is one time we had talked of omnibus, but it has also died out. Can we revive it? Any other questions? Yes, Honorable Akech. Honorable Akech, you can handle 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. And I thank our guests. I thank the Education Service Commission for their presentation. Sorry that I got delayed, Chair. The first concern that the committee would like to know that I'm going to raise is that of operational challenges. The ministerial policy statement highlights limited office space and lack of storage facilities. The committee requires an explanation of how these challenges affect the Education Service Commission's performance. Number 2, the committee would like to know the plans and budget allocation in financial year 2026-2027 to address infrastructure gaps and any requests to Ministry of Finance, if any, in regards to funding for office space. The other question is about the staff establishment. We require a summary of approved posts, filled positions and vacancies, and the recruitment plan for financial year 2026-2027. At least the 16 posts cleared for filling with a total annual salary of 126.22 million. The next question is about the NTR and the financial sustainability. The committee require NTR projections and off-budget interventions for financial year 2026-2027 and measures to enhance internally generated revenue to support assessment activities. The final question is on compliance with the PFMA requirements. The ministerial policy statement presented does not contain mandatory annual work plans, procurement plan, cash flow projections, equal opportunities certificate, vehicle utilization report, and asset register. So the committee requires clarification on how you intend to comply with the section 1215 of the PFMA in financial year 2026-2027. Those are the concerns of the committee that we require you to respond to. Thank you, Chair.
Hope you are taking note. Let's have 2 more and we respond.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The last question or clarification would be on coordination with Ministry of Education and Sports together with local government. Chair, the committee would like Education Service Commission to explain the measures to ensure timely declaration of vacancies by Ministry of Education and Sports and the districts. And also the committee would like to know how the Commission is working with the Chief Administrative Officers and District Human Resources, District Human Resource Officers to identify wage availability before recruitment. And the last one is validation and verification processes to prevent ghost workers. Honorable Chair, I want to assure the Education Service Commission Chairperson and team that this is a background check to help when we present your matters to Budget Committee, nothing is questioned, so that everything for you probably comes handy. Thank you.
I just want to emphasize her last concern. We want to know as a committee whether you have any mechanism or system or whatever with both the Ministry of Education and the local government on the issue she's raising. How do they declare the vacancies? How do you get to know that there are vacancies in the Ministry of Education and the local government? And we also want to know your working relationships with the COWs and the district human resource officers, and of course the validation she was talking about. Because as I was telling you, you have almost terminated the courses now. So we want to know how you collaborate with the ministry and the local government as far as this mandate is concerned. So members, we now give an opportunity to the Commission to respond to the issues. I hope we shall start with the Reverend, and then you can share with your team.
Thank you, Chairperson and members. We will answer as many as we can, and those that require us to grant submit written submission will be dealt with in a prompt manner. The question about the support we are expecting from National Planning Authority, it includes working together with us to ensure that this is done properly, and representing us and supporting our efforts once the cost implication is worked out, so that we receive the necessary financial support to undertake the exercise. They haven't themselves given financial support, but they will support our application for financial support. I'd now like to invite my colleagues to, especially the Secretariat, to answer the concerns. Thank you.
Be mindful of the time. We still have other agencies to interact with.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members. About the additional 6.4, Mr. Chairman, our records, it's not true that we got an additional 4.6 on wage, because initially our provision was 3.153 and it increased to 3.9. So the increment is only 0.82 billion for wage. Then for non-wage, that's where we had an increment of 6 billion, and this was initially the supplementary, which was mainstreamed into our budget to cater for
recruitment for UGIFT and USEP and other recruitments which were coming up instead of continuing to ask for supplementaries. Then on non-tax revenue, I want to inform members that the projections and the non-tax revenue at our institution, the only non-tax revenue we get is by selling of bids. Otherwise, we do not have any other non-tax revenue. And this non-tax revenue goes direct to URA. On the staff establishment, the approved structure, we have submitted our request for staff to the appointing authority and the other parent ministries. Maybe members should note that much as we are an appointing commission, we did not recruit for ourselves. All our staff are recruited by Public Service Commission, and then the others are got from their common cadres, so we write to the parent ministries to deploy staff to the commission. On coordination with the Ministry of Education and Sports, we have an interagency arrangement where we meet with the Ministry of Education at regular intervals, especially every after exercise we meet with them and then discuss. And also Ministry is supposed to, when we recruit, Ministry is supposed to report back to the Commission on staff who have not reported, then we fill those gaps. Otherwise, we rely on submissions from the ministry. We do not have a direct contact with the local governments on the issues of staff. The only contact we have is that we have an agreement that before any staff is accessed on the payroll of any district, they have to verify with the commission on the authenticity of the minutes. Mr. Chairman, I think that's where we are experiencing a reduced number of ghosts because staff can no longer access payroll of any ministry until they have been verified by the Education Service Commission. That is for the teaching staff. The same with the education staff in KCCA. For KCCA, we deal direct with them for recruitment and any other HR-related issues. So for KCCA, we deal direct with them. Then for the other local governments, we deal with them through the ministry. They submit to the ministry, then the ministry verifies, then submit to the commission. I thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the issue of the PFMA, the requirements, Mr. Chairman, we have attached, they are attached on the report.
Secretariat, they have made an attachment. Reverend, before you are discharged, there is a concern here. The recruitment of teachers for students of special needs. In your recruitment, do you consider the teachers for these students? And the concern is that the number is increasing. I don't know whether the same applies to the teachers you recruit for these teachers, these students. And here they are giving an example, and they should take interest. Chambogo College School has more than 100 students, but there are only 2 teachers. Can you find out? So quickly, if you can comment on the students with special needs. For example, in the last recruitment, how many teachers did you recruit for this kind of category?
Thank you, Chairperson. This is something we will need to study, but we have a policy of integrating special needs into normal schools. This has had the effect of diluting the number of disabilities, but the disabilities then may be distributed far and widely. For example, those with impairment of hearing who need sign language. There may be one in this school and two in another school, and it creates a challenge of finding enough teachers to distribute in the various schools for a small number of teachers. And this is something that we are going to discuss with the Ministry of Education and Sports.
I see Mbale Bamasaba. What are you saying before we leave the Reverend?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I'm sorry I could be coming up with a different idea because I didn't follow up the presentation. But thank you so much, Education Service Commission. I have a concern, Honorable Chair. There are some seed schools that were lobbied by the community, and I'm among those who lobbied for some schools. And we got a school in Mbale City. The school is called Lasso Secondary School. There was a head teacher then in a makeshift school who kept that school for a long time. He lobbied and also lobbied for land and got it. And then eventually government built the school. When the school was built, they brought another head teacher and he was kicked out of the school. And the community almost rioted. I brought my concern and they said they would handle. I just want to pray that when people work, let them at least benefit from the sweat that they have put in whatever they've done. Then if time comes, maybe they work for, even if it's a short time, you give them at least some time to serve in those positions and then eventually give them leave. However, if Education Service Commission says you only want teachers who are on payroll, now, if somebody has been serving, what is the problem really that you can't integrate these people within the system? Yet they've really worked so hard. And you bring other teachers from other districts, and then they come and enjoy the sweat of these ones who have worked, and yet they still struggle to see that they are fitting in another place. I just want to
Honorable, I think your concern is taken. I don't know that the Commission has the answer for that particular school, or whether you are still...
I brought it to their attention.
Do you have a feedback?
Honorable Chair, I interacted with Honorable Lukago.
Doctor is not around today, but can you take up the concern of the member? You have her contact, you know her, and make sure you respond. You may find there are so many headmasters who are in the same category, so I wish you could find out and see whether you can do something. But Reverend, quickly react, and then you make a conclusion.
Thank you. Spend half a second on what we have said.
Chairman, kindly accept my apologies for coming late. My name is Johnson Marling, a member Education Service Commission. I just would like to respond to that issue of teachers of special needs. What we have done so far is to consider teachers with special needs. When we are recruiting, we give them an advantage during the affirmative action. But there are many teachers out there of special needs when they are not necessarily teachers with special needs. But we have not got a direct request for teachers of special needs in these institutions. Maybe as a committee, you can interest the ministry to create that vote for teachers with teachers of special needs.
I think our message is clear. First of all, we wanted the system or the mechanism between you and the Minister of Education and local government that gives you feedback on the vacancies. You can now take our message that there is a concern about the recruitment of teachers for students with special needs.
Concern taken, sir.
Thank you. Reverend, can you? Yes,
Chair. Through my chair. Mr. Chair, I would still request that in your engagement with the ministry, just like you have brought it to our attention, as an oversight committee, you would interest them also, because sometimes it's not very good for us to solicit what to do. But when you direct them, they will pick interest and make a submission to us. Thank you, Chair.
Uganda say Entebbe Woma. Now the Entebbe was about to coma.
Chair, before you leave, Chair, before you leave, Honorable Chair.
Let me carry my authority to my office the other side, and I conclude this session.
So, Honorable Chair.
Chair, I'm about to conclude the Reverend. Just give me 2 minutes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Honorable colleagues and our guests, this is like a piece of advice. You know, there are some issues that come up here which are supposed to be directly answered by the ministry. And for fairness, Honorable Chair, of course, there should have been somebody from Ministry of Education to be part of this meeting to take notes, so that tomorrow, when they will be coming here, they'll be able to respond. But that said and done, for me, I still feel that these agencies which are here, they are doing their best. And Education Service Commission, I want to thank you. There is a very big improvement from the time I joined this committee in 2016 and to date. And my former boss, Honorable Chair, with due respect, Honorable Palotti, you'll bear me witness that the time we started in 2016, things were a little bit staggering. But I think now the commission is stable, is doing its work. We just need to support them, and they continue doing a good job. Thank you.
Thank you. The chair is here, Reverend. The chair is here.
Thank you, Chairperson. The issue of people who started makeshift schools and who have served is an emotive issue. But we agreed here in this room that the bottom line is competence to perform, and therefore we introduced a system where these people do apply, and when they have the necessary requirements to run government schools funded by the government, they will be appointed. They are not discriminated against. And fortunately, when they have served for so long, they have an advantage over the others who have not been in the area. And what the recently concluded exercise showed, that there are very many people from the area, and we did not need to recruit people from Namungare in Kotido. But we found that the suitable candidates there, and it worked very well. But that particular issue will be looked at on its own merit. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I want to assure my former boss, Honorable Connie, that fortunately I'm also now this way. When we were together and you were my boss, you know what we were emphasizing: quality. And we try to emphasize, because I've heard you say, no, but he's competent. I think that really is for us, the Commission, to assure you that we get the more competent, not the just what? Competent. And like Chair said, it's an emotive thing. But if we sat and we took through you through the people we have on the ground and how competent or incompetent they are compared to others, you'd be surprised. And as a Commission, we need quality staff. But also, it's not fair to say that we bring people to enjoy. When you study the people recruited, you find people from Luaso, people from also in other places like Rukungiri, no? Because that's what education should shape. You cannot be patriotic if you are looking at only your locality. We will not have a safe country to live in. But also, let people get experience outside their localities. But we try as much as possible to give these people a benefit. But if you are going to be a head teacher of a government school, and you remember when we were talking of U-gift schools that they were purely government, so these people who are having their makeshift were strategists. But unfortunately, they had to compete through a competitive process, and some of them got knocked out. We really try. We really try. And there was an issue on grade 5 teachers who have attained the higher qualification. We want to appeal to you. Please secure for us the wage and give the Ministry of Education. We got some few slots that we handled, but you can imagine we had to raise the bar. Somebody should have served for 20 years. It's a long period, but that's what the wage could handle. And those ones got promoted. So kindly help get for us the wage. And finally, for us, the wage declaration is done through the engagement between the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Finance and Public Service. As a Commission, we don't directly ask districts whether they have the wage. But when the Ministry seeks wage clearance from Ministry of Finance and the approval from Ministry of Public Service, they share with us the approval, and we proceed to recruit based on that approval. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Education Service Commission. Chair, I want to officially hand over, but we have given you a lot of time because of conflict of interest we have. And actually, when the chair is there, it is as if he is the chair chairing, because he was the chair of Honorable J. I think he was the deputy of Honorable Connie. He was my chair. The chairperson is a reverend. I don't know that there is a reverend on this side. The PS is my OB. So all those interests, they have taken our time. But even if you don't have OBs and the former chairman and ETC, your time may be short. Chair, can I hand over now so that you say bye to your guests?
Thank you very much, but now we are the one going to pay for the receipt of overtime. Now, thank you very much, Honorable Itungo, and the Honorable guests from the Commission. What we notice is that you are doing so well, and now you have forgotten where your home should be. The point is about the development budget, that you try to engage GIA number on that, because the recruitment doesn't end, okay? It's like we eat food daily. So the emphasis in the budgeting, you should put a lot of emphasis in the development budget. I think that is something that we must emphasize, because we have talked about that. How many years, Honorable Maringa? Coming to 20 or 17, sincerely. So something must be done. And I don't know why the PS has not come today, because the one who was showing us how he's going to do this and the other. So the development is something that must be a strong one. Then the other one was when you had the annual review, there was the emphasis saying that now there's where you recruit, and when they are given a letter of, when they are given, how do you call it, Mr. Kaya? Notification. When they go to the ministry now takes long to deploy them, whereas they have done their job. So the argument was that now, if the ministry or if districts have places that have fallen vacant, and as they report to the Minister of Education, why don't they be copying them in? That these ones will have that in mind, that as long as in a given place, maybe in a given year, so many are going to retire, this and the other, it will be a bit okay. Because you may find the minister has a lot, the other side, and they forget. When they send to them, they do their due diligence, but eventually, the same people are sent somewhere and say there is no wage. So that is something that we could also emphasize on. So we are very grateful that you've come, and you've come at home, like Honorable Itungo has said. So, but out of the other hill where there are now so many infrastructure, you are leading from the tail. So can you please wake up? I mean on Chigove Road. Thank you very much. Sure.
First come, first served. UVTAB now.
So UVTAB, you can extend. After UVTAB, we shall have Nishe, and then UPAB will be looked at last. So now, UVTAB, we are trying to consult here, and we are saying that from UVTAB you go to UPAB. They are just neighbors. But actually they are also neighbors the other side, but for them they have similar, after all they used to be in either one roof or different roofs, but they are now in one roof. So what we are going to do, because we wanted the presentation to follow concurrently, UVTAB, UPAB. So what we do, let's allow Nishe present, even if they are also your neighbors, but the matters are, the issues are not so similar like yours. So Professor, you can have the presentation. So I think apart from Professor Okwakolo, the rest had introduced themselves.
Chair, the two ladies.
The two ladies didn't, but the two... so we can start that way.
Thank you, Chair and members. Good morning. My name is Fiona Kunihira. I work at the NCHE as the Senior Legal Officer. Thank you.
Senior Legal Officer, we expect a big statement from you today, because you have always told us you are Senior Legal Officer, but we don't hear from you. Yes?
Good morning, Honorable Chairperson and members. Dr. Maria Nakacha Semakula. I work with the National Council for Higher Education as a Principal Higher Education Officer in charge of data management and statistics. Thank you.
Data management, then
Honorable Chair and members, good morning. I'm called Dennis Omvia and I'm the Senior Planning Officer at the National Council for Higher Education.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Honorable Chairperson and members, we don't seem to have OBs and OGs.
Very interesting.
But we trust the committee.
You have left the OBs and OGs outside, I can assure you. But you are going to be handled with all fairness amidst having OB and OG.
Honorable Chairperson and members, there are aspects that I'll just highlight because they've been presented here before, like the background. And here I would just like to state that the Niche's ministerial policy statement is focusing on our functions as regulators and are in line, or rather is in line with the National Development Plan for NDP4. Niche is mandated as a statutory agency to ensure that we provide quality and relevant higher education. And the functions have been listed on page 1. The vision and mission, as well as the core values, are listed on page 2. But I'll just, for emphasis, highlight the strategic objectives of Niche. And these are to enhance quality assurance and compliance in higher education institutions. 2, to strengthen digital transformation within Niche as well as higher education institutions for regulation and management. And 3, to advance relevant research and innovation and strengthen usage of higher education statistics for regulation and policy. And 4, to strengthen corporate governance, institutional capacity, and development of Niche. So those are our strategic objectives. Chairperson and members, I would like to inform the committee that Niche successfully organized the Higher Education Week, and it featured 2 major events: the 7th Annual Higher Education Conference and the 18th Higher Education Exhibition. The theme for this year's events was, I quote, harnessing innovations in higher education for accelerated economic transformation, unquote. The annual Higher Education Conference was held on the 23rd and 24th March 2026 at Acholi Inn Hotel, Gulu City, while the Higher Education Exhibition was held from 26th to 28th of March 2026 at Gulu University. We were honored by the presence of Honorable James Kubeketeria, chairperson of this committee, who, among other things, participated in the panel discussion on policy and financing reforms which are needed to sustainably fund innovation in higher education. A key relevant resolution from the conference was the establishment of a National Research and Innovation Fund, which happens to be provided for in NDP4. Chairperson and members will request this committee to support its immediate establishment so that research and innovation can be supported. I request your permission, Honorable Chairperson, that Mr. Arthur Muguzi, our Director in charge of Finance, Administration and Planning, takes us through the next sections, and I'll come in to conclude.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, the chairperson, and through the ED. We highlight the higher education institutions.
So which page? You just tell us the page. You run through very fast. Which
on page 3?
I mean, I was already on page 4.
Okay.
But you can
okay,
go
Chair. We just summarize the institutions, universities. As per today, we have 54 private and public 10, which makes it 64. Other degree awarding institutions, 22 private and 2 which are public, which makes it 24. And tertiary institutions, private 122 and public 47, which makes it 169, and the total is 257. And chair and members, the breakdown is also mentioned down. Next page, which is page 4, we have an approved strategic plan of 25-26 to 29-30, which has an establishment of 126 staff. Chair and members will only note that out of that, only 74 are filled. And we are grateful to this committee that we were able to recruit 18 additional staff, which translates now to 58.7 staffing levels to execute the broader mandate. But we note that we are still below the acceptable average. 4.0 financial and budget performance for financial 24-25 year. We show 4.1 MTEF allocations and budget performance for 24-25. We had a budget provision of 17.227, and we wish to report this committee that we were able to get a release of 17.227, and amount spent was 14.1, which was 82%. Which then the expenditure for 24-25, it's also indicated, and the performance was at 82%. Chair and members, the underutilization of funds for wage was due to a delay in the recruitment of the additional staff arising from the time taken to obtain clearance from the Ministry of Public Service. In addition to that, the council was not fully constituted, and that's why we are not able to perform at 100%. But we are grateful to this committee for that additional. And
When you don't use Momo, you get insulted by strangers. Save yourself from insults. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3# to pay and enjoy zero charges below 5K. That's the power of Momo.
This May 2nd, get ready for the ultimate meat experience. Masheda Meat Festival is back at Masheda Palms Resort. Bigger, tastier, and louder than ever. Enjoy mouth-watering grills by Chef Pablo, chilled vibes and non-stop entertainment by Elijah Chitaka and the best DJs in town. Grab your tickets now that covers the meats. Early bird at 150K, advanced 200K, and 250K at the gate. Tables for 4 with accommodation at 2 million. Couple room packages at 700K and camping options at just 300K. Don't miss the vibe of the year. May 2nd, Masheda Meat Fest. Taste the fire.
Whatever sport you enjoy, Sport Action on NBS Sport has you covered. Whether you want to support the Uganda Cranes or our netball team, golf or athletics, both domestic sporting events in Uganda and international sporting events in which Ugandans compete are the subjects of our attention. What are you still holding out for? Catch all the excitement on Sport Action by tuning to NBS Sport, brought to you by MTN, the #1 supporter of Ugandan sports.
Uganda, the real dancehall party is on. Africa One presents Safari Beats featuring the queen of dancehall straight from Jamaica.
Big bumper girl, Spice!
Stay down there, girl. Stay down there. Spice, she's checking in to taste the Rolex, jump on a boda and experience the real Uganda. Then shut it down with a massive concert at Lugogo Cricket Oval, 9th May 2026, alongside Cindy, Winnie Nwaji, and Carol Casita. Tickets are available now on Quicket, M-Ticket, *252# and FlexiPay. Powered by Uganda Tourism Board, Nile Special, and Wazo Dazo.
Did you know that majority of Ugandans live in rural underserved areas in Uganda? According to UCC 2024, 34.3 million are mobile subscribers. Only 47% of Ugandans have internet access according to the World Bank, and internet penetration is at 13.62% according to statistica.com. UCSAV's Access Infrastructure Program aims to extend telecommunication access to unserved and underserved areas that are not commercially viable for licensed operators through upgrading of GSM masts from 2G to 3G, installation of greenfield towers, 3G and 4G sites, installation of internet point of presence at local government administrative points and headquarters, installation of public payphones. Through collaboration with licensed operators, consultants, vendors, and suppliers, UCSAV ensures the sustainability and effectiveness of these infrastructure projects. This program has led to improved device and internet use penetration, extension, and growth of innovative ICT-based products and services, and ultimately increased socio-economic productivity. The Access Infrastructure Program continues to bridge the digital divide, fostering a more connected and productive society.
This is Uganda. This is home.
Brought to you by Explore Uganda, the Pearl of Africa.
When you don't use Momo, you get unwanted surprises. Save yourself from unwanted surprises. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3# to pay and enjoy zero charges below 5K. That's the power of Momo.
Looking for a household cleaner that truly delivers? Meet Apple, the antibacterial cleaning powder for bathrooms and surfaces. Apple is formulated for 3-dimensional cleaning. It's a scouring agent that scrubs off dirt and stains, a germicide that kills 99.9% of household germs, and it works with water to wash everything away, leaving your bathrooms and ceramics hygienic and sparkling clean. Keep up hygiene standards without breaking the budget. Switch to Apple today. Apple is available at supermarkets and convenience stores countrywide.
As Uganda prepares for a defining moment, the nation turns its eyes to the presidential swearing-in ceremony this May 2026. NBS Television brings you unmatched coverage from the Kololo Independence Grounds with in-depth live broadcast that captures every moment as it unfolds. Organizations, development partners, MDAs, and elected leaders take part in this historic occasion. Share your congratulatory messages and connect with millions. Call now 0772 860028.
Under the Utoya Cap 262 and the recently enacted TVET Act 2025 and some laws establishing professional bodies, National Council has identified areas of contradiction and overlaps that require legislative action. There is therefore need for this committee to support us and harmonize some of these activities, some of these laws. Chair and members, detailed performance of the existing projects. The National Council for Education Infrastructure project is estimated to cost 23 billion. National Council received 5 billion in financial year 23-24 as a supplementary to enable the construction of National Council main building, which could not commence due to late release and delays in receiving confirmation on the government commitment to fund the project to completion, as required by the Solicitor General, which guidance was later provided. And Chair, below we show the progress, and we now on stage 7, number 7, and we can say construction is in progress and we are at roofing level. The number 10 is alignment of ministerial policy statement for financial year 26-27 to NDP4. NDP4 emphasizes developing a productive, competitive, and adaptive human capital base, and National Council mandate including accreditation, quality assurance program, development standards, and monitoring supports this by ensuring that higher education meets national needs. Budget allocation for National Council recurrent and development activities is expected to reflect its contribution to improving quality and relevance of higher education programs that will focus on STEM, strengthening institutional standards of higher education, and promoting the use of ICT and promoting research and innovation. Thus, the National Council budgets for financial year 26-27 is devised so that the National Council can implement activities that align with the human capital development objectives of NDP4. Chair and members, we have the major activities and interventions which are mentioned, and we have the outcome indicators which have the interventions and activity under each strategic objective. We have the output indicator, we have the projected targets, and we have the outcome. And we just classify them under the 4 strategic objectives, which is to enhance quality assurance and compliance in higher education institutions. Then on page 14, we have we strengthen digital transformation within National Council and higher education institutions for regulation and management. And strategic objective number 3, to advance research, relevant research and innovation, and strengthen usage of higher education statistics for regulation and policy. And Chair and Honorable number 4, strengthen corporate governance, institutional capacity, and development at the National Council. Budget proposals for financial 26-27. The National Council for Education budget for financial 26-27 focuses on its core functions as a requisite for higher education and in line with the national budget strategy, the NDP4, and the 10-fold growth strategy as provided for in the first budget core circular. 12.1 Budget estimates for financial 26-27. The National Council held its budget conference for financial 26-27 on the 7th of October 25, where departments and units presented their budgets and major activities, interventions to be undertaken. And Honorable Chair and members, table 19 and 20 below show the summary of the budget estimates for projected revenue and expenditure. Approved budget as proposed by National Council is 46.861, broken down and under wage 9.7, non-wage 12, NTR 4.7, institutional development 1.8, and capital development of 18 billion. Under M12 provision for 25-26 is only 17,043. Proposed budget of financial 26-27 still remain 48.8, and under M12 provision in the system we have 35,048, which from the it shows the funding gap of 13,814, and it's broken down under the expected revenue as under salaries and wages 7.7, quality assurance and accreditation 5.9, ICT research and innovation 4.3, standards recognition and inclusion 0.6, capital infrastructure project 18 billion, furnishing the main building after completion of 2 billion, institutional development of 2.8 billion, and administration of 7.3 billion. And it shows what is provided for under MTF allocations and the underfunded gap of 13.8 million. Chair and members, underfunded priorities for financial 26 totals 4.7 billion. That is furnishing of the main building once it's completed, and then institutional development, ICT, furniture and vehicles of 2.7 billion. Under underfunded priorities, which is 9 billion, strengthening quality and accreditation function, in bracket CBT, which I'll be able to explain later, 4.9, advancing ICT research and innovation, 3 billion, strengthening standards recognition and inclusion, 300 million, and general administration, 780. Important to note, Chair and members, in view of the directive from the Ministry of Education and Sports, and in preparation for receiving students to higher education institutions, in academic year 27-28, there is a great need for the budget specified in A above of 4.9 to review the entire process for preparing and delivering competence-based education and training. Chair, under 13 is cross-cutting issues, gender and equity, mainstreaming. I'll not go through them, just mention them. We are looking at policy guidance and review, accreditation and quality assurance, sector-wide monitoring and reporting, capacity building and advocacy, advisory role, and within universities, other degree awarding institutions and tertiary institutions, the National Council Gender and Equity Unit performs complementary internal functions under the policy implementation, training and awareness, coordination and collaboration, data collection, and 13.2 is HIV/AIDS mainstreaming. We are looking at integration of HIV/AIDS into planning and operation, sensitization and awareness raising, encouraging institution structures and resource allocation, and reducing stigma and discrimination. And environment, it's in line with Section 8, subsection 2 and of PFM and of 215 as amended, and Section 30 of the Climate Change Act 2021 and the National Environmental Act of 2019. The National Council plans to mainstream environment and climate change issues in the detailed budget estimates for financial 26-27. And as we come to a conclusion, I want to take back to the accounting officer.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Members. In conclusion, the policy statement demonstrates adequate integration of gender and equity considerations in line with the requirements of the Equal Opportunity Commission, EOC. The statement also reflects deliberate efforts to mainstream gender and equity in planning, budgeting, and implementation of our programs. The budget for financial year 2026-2027 has been aligned to the national development priorities, as I indicated earlier on. The Niche strategic plan and work plan, this has been done to ensure that core activities are adequately resourced and implemented to achieve the Council's mandate of quality higher education. Chairperson and members, we are grateful to the committee for the continued support and guidance to Niche, particularly in the forthcoming financial year, the 18 billion which has been provided to complete the main building. Chairperson was squeezed to the extent that we had to convert the library into an office. Our prayer, Honorable Chairperson and members, we pray that
your prayer you now add on the voice so that we can hear.
Honorable Chairperson and members, I think let me repeat the gratitude. Of course, it's important that this is heard. We are very grateful for the continued support and guidance of this committee to Niche, particularly the 18 billion shillings which has been provided in financial year 2026-2027 to complete the Niche main building. Our prayer, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable members, is that the committee supports Niche to be allocated additional funding of Uganda shillings 13.814 billion so as to be able to effectively implement its mandate as stated below. 1. Shillings 4.975 billion for preparation for the process to provide competence-based education and training during 2026-2027. 2. Shillings 4.137 billion for ICT research and innovation. 3. Shillings 2.702 billion for institutional development, particularly for provision of transport, for supervision and monitoring, and finally shillings 2 billion for furnishing the Niche main building after it is completed. This is necessary, although the furnishing will take place after the building is completed, but because the procurement process is protracted, we request that this money be provided for in the next financial year. I submit, Honorable Chairperson and members.
Thank you very much, Professor and the team. Colleagues, now we need to do some inquiries and clarifications, but as we do that, I wanted us to first go at page 11. That page can guide us. On page 11, on top, colleagues, I know Professor doesn't have OGs and OBs in the room, but I can stand for you because I'm not here. Now, colleagues, when you see, this is what I was saying with the Education Service Commission. When you look at the 8.1 on their document, on that page 11, you'll see what they are saying. And I can read for the professor that Niche is not sufficiently funded, which has consistently impacted its ability to fulfill its mandate. And when you come to page number 1, you'll see the mandate of Winche. And when you go on the conclusion on her prayer, she's saying she wants the following. She's saying that the Honorable Chair and the Honorable members will pray that the committee supporting Chair to be allocated additional funding of 13.8 billion to be able to effectively implement its mandate. So when you look at their players and their whatever, the issue is about maybe Ministry of Finance not doing its part. You want food ready, but there is no firewood. So, as I was saying in the morning, yes, we know we can check you, but I sit on accountability committee. You see misuse, you see mischarge, you see embezzlement, you see all sorts of things. But these were given some little resources and they utilize the resources. So I'm not trying to bias you, but I'm trying to show you that these agencies need our support. We are the committee, we are the foot soldiers of these agencies. So as we ask questions for clarity, we also be mindful about how insufficient these agencies are funded. And I think tomorrow the Minister of Education is coming. I wish the Minister of Finance could also be here so that we can see how we can help these agencies. Otherwise, we blame them even when we have not given the resources. So I want members to make your comments. There is a checklist and so I'm told the clerk used some drones to give you the assignments. So we start with that order, question 1, question 2, question 3. I see Honorable Thames putting up the hand. Your question was question number 2. I don't know whether you have something before you come to the question. So you want to start? Okay, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chair and the National Council for Higher Education. I want to first commend the National Council for Higher Education for their performance, because in the financial year 2024-2025, their target was to accredit 600 programs. They went ahead and accredited 768, and that was 128% achievement. And as a committee, we are proud of you. With the little money you get, you try your level best, meaning that even the background, their backgrounds are really work-oriented. However, yesterday but one, I think, we got information that Makerere University has taken about 2 years waiting for the accreditation of some of their programs. And they are wondering why. Those are 20 programs. They have taken around 2 years. They have not been accredited. And that challenge also affects you as National Council for Education, as people will be wondering what is happening. Another issue is that each student pays 20,000 for National Council for Education. But again, the university has to pay for accreditation. So, may we as a committee get information concerning that non-tax revenue and how it is used? Because as we thank you for the job well done, we need to move together and therefore achieve together. Thank you so much.
Actually, you did not. Yes, is that all with the Honorable Timuziku? Yes, Honorable Koni Galwangu.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Chair, I also want to thank National Council for Higher Education for the presentation and the commitment for the good work that they're doing. I think when you look for people who are doing wrong in other institutions, I think if there are any, there would be very few in Niche. So we commend you. Thank you so much. Honorable Chair, number one, the committee would like to know about the budget allocation and major increase. That is the financial year 2026-2027 allocation, which is 35.15 billion, compared to the 17.049 billion in financial year 2025-2026. And that is an increase of 18.1 billion. Therefore, the committee would require a breakdown showing how the 18.1 billion will be utilized, with the 8.1 billion under non-wage and the 10 billion under Government of Uganda development budget. Also, the council's budget requirement in the medium term to complete the main building, and then the full breakdown of the 2026-2027 allocation in comparison to 2024-2025 and 2025-2026 half-year performance. I want to thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Honorable Korimoi.
Thank you, Chair. I also want to thank the National Council for Higher Education for their presentation. The committee, this question is on the conflicting mandates between the National Council for Higher Education and the TVET Council. The ministerial policy statement acknowledges overlapping mandate over diploma awarding TVET institutions. So the committee would like to get a detailed explanation from the chair of how the National Higher Education Policy Review will resolve this conflict. 2, the committee wants to hear from you about the timeline for policy review and proposed amendments to the Universities and Other Tertiary Institutions Act. Number 3, the committee needs an explanation on the interim coordination arrangements between National Council for Higher Education and the TVET Council, and also the limitations of the current Universities Act, Cap 262. I noticed that you have tried to briefly handle it in 8.6 and 8.7 of your presentation, but the committee would require additional explanation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Okurimoy. Honorable Alanyo. No, we are moving in that order. Information to
Bim Bim, Honorable Bim Bim. Now, Mr. Chairman, I have a letter here, just supplement her question. And this letter is dated 19th December 2025. And this letter was addressed to the First Lady and the Honorable Minister of Education and Sports. And the heading says, request for an urgent meeting regarding overlapping mandates. And this letter is signed by Attorney General. Chair, with your permission, I can lay on the table.
Not now. We are repeating that letter twice. When we were doing BFP, That letter came up. Unfortunately, the minister is not here.
Chair, why I'm inquiring, I want to know why was this meeting urgent and where the resolutions. Maybe if the meeting took place.
Okay, the professor will comment, but it's something which is ongoing because tomorrow we should raise it when they are here. Then Honorable Alanyo.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Permit me to appreciate the presentation made by Professor and our colleagues. And also in a special way, I want to thank Professor Mary again with the our staff, Dr. Sembatia, who helped my sister so much during acquisition of her document to enroll for PhD. They timely helped me. I truly appreciate you.
When was that?
Yeah, no worries. That was way about last year, early.
Okay, that is recent. It's okay. I thought it would have been some years.
I really appreciate you guys for the timely intervention to let things move. Chair, my question is about clarification from them about capacity constraints that they talked about on the staffing. They eloquently presented it. It is on page 11. That is item 8.3 and 8.4. Honorable Chair, this reads, Niche has approved the establishment of 126 positions despite recent recruitment of 18 additional staff to make a total of 74. The staffing level remained, currently is at 58.7%. So my question to them is, how many more staff do you need to reach the required 65%? And the cost, I did not see it captured. The balance of the additional staff level gap you have, and the funds attached to it. Number two, it is about transport constraints or limitation, which is captured in item 8.4. You have 6 vehicles, according to what you have put here, fulfilled work and to oversee these many institutions, that is about 257. I did not see how much funds is required to purchase how many cars. In addition, how many do you need and at what approximate fee that is should be captured well so that it is easy to bargain during the time of budget committee presentation. Finally, Chair, on page 8, if you have to see, table 11 and 12, they made a highlight on how much funds was released to Niche by half-year budget 2025-2026. However, it does not provide how much money was spent from these releases. Maybe it was an oversight. We should check it through. Thank you.
So that has been Honorable Alanyo and then Honorable Itungu.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chair, I just want clarification from Chair on 2 issues. Number 1, Chair, is about the establishment of 2 public universities. That is Busoga University and Bunyoro University. And from the NBS, this is supposed to be done in financial year 2026-2027. So I want to find out from you the details of the implementation plan, the resource requirements, and the timelines. But I also want to know how Nche is ready to support the accreditation, quality assurance, and operationalization of these institutions. The second issue is about NTR and financial stability of Unche. So I want to find out your NTR projections of budget interventions and the measures to enhance internally generated revenue. Finally, Mr. Chairman, while you are away, I read a statement from their document that they are not able to perform their mandate and fulfill their obligations because of the financial issue. And Chair, as I said in the morning, their issues, they want money to perform their functions and mandate. So, Professor, I'm standing in OG and OB. You have my support 100%. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Yes, Honorable Tamuhira.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I also want to add my voice thank Niche for the good work that they are doing. And we are very happy when we see that building going to the sky, the clouds. It's moving very fast. Thank you, and I assume that funds are being well utilized.
Whatever sport you enjoy, Sport Action on NBS Sport has you covered. Whether you want to support the Uganda Cranes or our netball team, golf or athletics, both domestic sporting events in Uganda and international sporting events in which Ugandans compete are the subjects of our attention. What are you still holding out for? Catch all the excitement on Sport Action by tuning to NBS Sport, brought to you by MTN, the #1 supporter of Ugandan sports.
On a normal day, Kampala air looks just fine. But what we don't see is how unsafe and toxic it may be, which has led to an increase in respiratory diseases or even death. But we don't have to lose another life due to air pollution. We can change this situation. Join us to turn Kampala into a smart green city. Choose to ride or board a Spiro e-bike that doesn't pollute the air. Zukuka. Make the smart move. Union, the better way.
Nzali yeru gogo nzali yo kumi na mukaga main nzali yo yes bera yeru gogo bera yo kumi na mukaga main bera yo nzayina permission odigida tugenda lugogo boyi feno mudigida ibafu kuntiko bya digida wesange yonno tube mudigida yes okuyingira ordinary ebiri VIP tuweye tano wachiri yes emeza abantu munana bukade busatu tebakuba wama watch nzali yeru gogo nzali yo bera yeru gogo bera yo tusange yeru gogo bera yo hip hop kuntiko man bera yo yes.
More fiercely contested than this. One of the fiercest rivalries. Huge clash. He is having the time of his life. Can you feel it? The shaking.
Whether they present anything or they listen, would want the ministry to come out clearly on how far they have gone in helping those issues to be sorted. Otherwise, we are going to have double budgeting. We are providing money for nature to do its work. We are now also looking for money to provide the same money for the TVET Council. And I think the earlier the TVET Council is supported and they do their role, the better. Because even these assessment boards which are coming in now, I know they have challenges. A lot of them, they will tell us. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, John. Now, Nishe, thank you. I'm sure you have been noting. Now, you are reporting that in the MTEF, the second call, budget call letter, you are given 10, but according to us, you are given 18. So maybe you are going to clarify on that. Because when I saw 18, I was happier, but now you are reading 10. So can we shall clarify on that. To which, if it is 18, that is good news for Nishe, but you are saying 10. So let me even call the economist for us to reconcile that. And then two, Nishe, we want you to make a statement about the Kapatu University. Have you heard about the Kapatu, Professor? Have you? In Karamoja? You have heard a rumor? Yes. Yeah, you are going to make a statement because there is a thinking that maybe in one region, one university, but Kapatu says it must be full-fledged, then Moroto, the Constituent College of Gulu, so you are going to make a statement on that. And then, Professor, the other one is a very big lord. Makere was here, was it yesterday or the other day? Makere was here, and something similar to Honorable Timuzigu's submission, that so many applications were made to certify the programs. Is it called the certifying, or what is it called? Accredit. And the way I look at it, it is a very long list. And I will have to give you a copy, because according to them, they say without your approval, they cannot go ahead. So one of them, from the College of Health Sciences, there is Master of Medicine in Internal Medicine R, and this was submitted on the 3rd of November 2022. Master of Science in Pharmaceuticals and Health Supplies Management, submitted 23rd January 2023. This is a long list. So if you have any of your people who can help, you have this one. Now let me borrow the services of your neighbor, Mr. Wanda, from Uvta, who is a neighbor, to deliver it to you. Okay. So I think it is a long one. You look at it.
Chair, it is very long. It has even entered the barracks. There is the National Defense College, Masters of Defense and Security Studies.
In Rugazi? Jen, is that one in Rugazi, Jennifer? Okay, maybe we can have the other one off, that microphone. But Honorable Korimoy, there is a microphone near you, and it is showing red on your extreme left. Okay, it is done. So because of the urgency of the matter, Professor, don't you think 8 minutes are enough for you to answer, or 10? 8. 10. Using short sentences. Okay.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable members. There are so many questions.
Okay.
We shall endeavor to answer some.
So let's do 15? 15 minutes.
30.
No. That is on the higher side, because even the presentation has taken long.
Chair, let me start with the Makerere, which has just been handed to us. We have requested each university to appoint a focal point person who liaises with the National Council for Higher Education to follow up accreditation of their programs. And if they have challenges at the departmental level or directory level, they are encouraged to approach the executive director. But I've never received a complaint from the VC. Even the day before yesterday, I was talking to the VC, this matter has not come up. So I would like to encourage Makerere to liaise with us so that we can handle this matter with them. I don't think it was fair for them to bring it to here without drawing the attention of the chief executive.
They did not come to complain, but out of their submission, that one came up.
Oh, okay.
So they didn't complain. We don't have anything written, so don't. So you just have to say how to do it.
Chair, I would like to encourage Makerere to use the channels that we have put in place to follow up these. Many times the delay is caused by them not responding to certain requirements by the National Council for Education. But we'll deal with this.
I wish we had gotten you first before them. Otherwise, it is okay.
Yeah, we will deal with this, Honorable Chair and members. Regarding the budget, the 20,000 and then charges for accreditation, as well as matters to do with budget allocation, I'll pass that on to the director, but after I have finished commenting on some. Regarding the overlapping mandates and whether the policy will resolve the matter, Honorable Chairperson and members, we have requested the ministry to give guidance regarding the areas where we have overlaps and conflicts by clarifying. We are waiting for that guidance, and it is because of that that we wrote to the minister requesting for an urgent meeting. The letter that the Attorney General wrote was a response to our letter written to the minister. We wrote to the minister requesting for an urgent meeting, but he copied it to Attorney General. We are still waiting for a response from the Honorable Minister. And also, after receiving this response from the Attorney General, our chairperson has again written to the Minister requesting for that urgent meeting, because the letter of the Attorney General did not answer all the issues that we highlighted.
So, Professor, before you conclude on that matter, me as a layman, I would advise that you would have an interim arrangement that between you and the other council, and since you stay on the same road, just sit, both of you, those two entities, and see and draw some kind of demarcations as an interim measure before something is brought to the law. That one will be better. You sit and say, now, this is how we should move. That by the time the law is brought for amendment, you will be moving. Otherwise, you are going to cause paralysis. Because here, like John was saying, they are supposed to accredit this. The National Council is also on the same. So, don't you think that is possible?
It will not work. Chair, it will not work.
But you start.
It will not work.
What we are saying,
no.
You first start, and maybe you say...
If we had been listened to early last year when we started, we should have sorted out this matter. They are matters of the law.
Okay.
You can't discuss them just across the table.
You know, when we make these laws, we begin informally and then they are formalized. It's a way that you start and consult. Now, I can see you raise the act. What is it, Honorable?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. See, Mr. Chairman, in the last meeting, we had told the minister about this meeting. And remember me proposing that the legal teams from these agencies should attend the meetings. Now, when you look at this act, the TVET Act, Section 118, it was even quoted in the documents he submitted. This section talks about disapplication of certain enactments. And the section 1, subsection 1 says, unless otherwise expressly provided for under this act, the following enactments shall not apply to TVET provider. Shall not apply by law. Number 1, the University and Other Tertiary Institutions Act. Number 2, the National Curriculum Development Center Act. So the law is here.
So it doesn't apply? Does it leave them safer according to that?
This is why the Professor, I see Professor, my OG, you can say something now.
Honorable Chair, can you give the senior legal officer just 2 minutes to say
Yeah, the senior legal officer has escorted you for 5 years and we have not heard anything from her.
But let her say something.
That's what we are saying. Instead of 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Yeah,
Yes,
Chair.
3 minutes. Actually 5.
I beg for indulgence, Chair.
Okay, let John finish, then she does it at once.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I think through Chair and the Professor, when the legal counsel is trying to give us more light on this, you should not read one section in isolation of others. Let him try to relate those sections so that we clear information about her. Then secondly, about those meetings, Honorable Chair, I want to remember in 2011, when UBTEB was being established, we had almost similar challenge. I was the pioneer executive at that time. But we would reach a point where we would not easily discuss and meet with other entities that were existing at that time, especially when we were taking over programs from those institutions. And it was very serious with the universities which had diploma programs. You reach a point, you leave, the law takes its way. So with humble appeal, I would advise Honorable Chair that we should take on the Ministry of Education and Sports tomorrow and they give us an answers. And I would, through you, Chair, ask the research committee to work with them to help us get any correspondences, whether we get from Niche or somewhere. I'm happy that Honorable Itung has a letter which I have alluded to, what was talking about that came from the Attorney General, so that before tomorrow we meet the Minister of Education, we are prepared to engage them and they give us a solution. Otherwise, the little I know, these people, National Council for Education and the TVET Council, cannot sit and agree. The law is a problem. They cannot sit and agree. I submit, Honorable Chair.
Okay, yes, legal.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, indeed, as the Honourable Member has mentioned, the challenges are really deeply rooted in the law. And I think for us, from a legal point of view, the challenge starts from the definition of a TVET program. That Act simply says that a TVET program is any program that is licensed by the TVET Council. Now, that leaves the area very grey. Because when you look at what fields are TVET, unfortunately I didn't carry my act, if you look at section 30, it simply talks about TVET technology education and training, information technology and training, and so on and so forth. The definition of what would be TVET is so broad, there is a big chance that it could accommodate the academic and professional programs that on the side of higher education. So there is really need to go back and have a clear definition of where TVET starts and stops. And that also brings in the section that Honorable Itungo has mentioned on the section 118. You have a law that says that where you have TVET, you don't have the Universities and Other Tertiary Institutions Act operating. But then we raise questions to the effect that, you know, for example, if Makerere University has a TVET program, what happens now to the other programs that are non-TVET? Does Makerere then immediately stop being regulated by the National Council? And if yes, then what happens to the higher education programs? So really, we think that there is need to go back to the drawing board and analyze this law and find lasting solutions. Otherwise, we are going to have problems in the future if we don't pay attention to this issue. Thank you.
Come.
Can I supplement?
Yes.
It's not only problems in the future, the problems are here now. And also, I would like also to inform the committee that we had a team which was led by the chairperson of council, which went to benchmark in Rwanda. Rwanda tried to go the direction we are trying to go, or we have tried to go, and they experienced confusion in the sector. So what they did was to review and demarcate so that the TVET Council is responsible for vocational institutions and secondary school TVET training, not going to higher education. And when they did that, they've been sorted.
Okay.
Tanzania is actually also at this stage. Well, for some years they have tried to operate the way maybe we copied it from Tanzania, but recently they had a task force to review the whole system, and among the recommendations was that they remerge the two. So why are we going where other people are living?
So that's the reason that we would use professors as a resource in that if you get those experiences, the demarcation exactly where one must stop, it would be a very good proposal that when the law is reviewed, it can work. Okay.
Chair, can I request the
yes, for me, I'm just
director to handle the financial matters?
Yeah. Thank you, Chair, and through the ED. The question is on question number 1 about the breakdown of the budget. It's true, Chair, we are provided in the previous financial year 17 billion. In the proposed financial year 26-27, in the second budget call, we received an additional 10 billion for the completion of the building. And when the budget was being finalized, and through the support of this committee, following our various appeals, that to complete that building, you need 18 billion, because the total cost of the building is 23 billion. And the money was provided 8 billion. In the first instance, it was put under non-wage. And we want to report that we have been able to clarify that with the Minister of Finance, and the whole 18 billion is now put under development, capital development.
I cannot clap for otherwise I was getting
thank you.
Round where it's 18, 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chair, the other question been asked to respond to is a question on staffing. When you clearly look at the mandate of the National Council today, the establishment that is approved is 126 staff. And also, as we said, we want to support this committee because last financial year, you are able to give us support, and we recruited 18 additional staff. This was a big contribution, which has put our percentage 58%. In the ideal situation, would want to have 136. But even if we added and we are at least 65%, we'd be able to fulfill our mandate. And that would be able to make the staff 82. That means we'd be able to add in about around 8 staff if we added them. In the current circumstances, we would be able to do it. My last comment on my part is the correction of the 20,000. Chair, we have been correcting 20,000 for the last almost 10 years. That's a contribution from students which they pay once a year. This 20,000 is collected as NTR, collected by URA, submitted to the consolidated fund, and later on it comes back. And currently, plus other fees, its NTR counts for 4.7 billion, which we do correct. And what do we do with the 20,000? It's part of the general funds of the National Council, and chair and members, for each university that is able to comply with the 20,000, we are able to give them 3 programs each year, each academic year, because there are a number of programs, and the process, as the director maybe of quality assurance, if is allowed, the process of accrediting a program costs us almost 2 to 3 million per program. Yes, yeah.
Sorry, Chair, I did make an omission. Dr. Sembate should have said something about accreditation of these other programs.
Okay.
Just briefly.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair and members. Yeah, it was mentioned about the programs from Makerere University. Like for the 1 year, that is now, for 3 years, we've accredited 180 programs from Makerere University. So in 1 year, we accredit about 60 of them from one university. But Makerere University has this 2-stage submission of their programs. So once Senate completes and Council, they will submit the programs. And for their records, they will say we have submitted. The next stage would be to pay for the processes, which may involve even field visits, professional bodies, a protracted process. So they come and pick those that they think they are priorities, and then they pay for those. So that detail is not here.